Rolling.
Hey everybody, welcome to Stringbean and the Boardwalk Social Club Saturday afternoon concert series. Every week I've been doing this live streaming thing since the start of the pandemic about a year ago, or longer than a year ago, 15 months ago. Saturday afternoons to fill in the gap of not being able to perform live, and so anyway, every week there's a different theme or topic for the show. And I've done regional blues, Piedmont blues, Chicago blues, or every style of blues, classic rock episode, reggae episodes, bluegrass, comedy, gospel. So anyway, Grateful Dead episode, Bob Dylan. So this week is Hubert Sumlin, a great blues guitar player, sideman for Howlin' Wolf. We were lucky enough to be the band for his band for some of his final appearances. So welcome to the Hubert Sumlin episode of the Saturday afternoon Boardwalk concert series. We'll start with this song, Sitting on Top of the World, a really old blues song that was predated Howlin' Wolf, even it was by the Mississippi Sheiks, kind of a jug band. It was a hit for them, Sitting on Top of the World. Whoops, daisy. Okay, Sitting on Top of the World. Kevin Trainor taught me this harmonica lick. Need a running, throwing up your hands. I could get me a woman, quick as you can, a man. Now she's gone, I don't worry, 'cause I'm sitting on top. Top of the world, with my legs hang down. A woman done quit me, she went out this town. Now she's gone, I don't worry, I'm sitting on top. out, but I won't last long. Now she's gone, I don't worry. Sitting home tired of the world. Sitting on Top of the World by Howlin' Wolf. That was the one song that Hubert would sing. We'd, do a whole night. He'd play guitar, but he would sing. He'd be the featured vocalist on that one, Sitting on Top of the World. So that's how I remember that song, is the one that Hubert Sumlin sang with us. Our connection to Hubert Sumlin was through Sim Kane, the drummer. Sim toured with Hubert through Europe, and then I guess he set up some gigs here with Billy Hector as the band Billy Hector, with featuring Hubert Sumlin. So then when our friend Peter Mantis asked us, if we wanted to do, if he set up the gig at Langosta Lounge, where we were the band and Hubert Sumlin was the headliner. That was a very successful gig, really good, went very well. We were very prepared. So anyway, Sim said that Hubert considered him his favorite drummer, which is a great compliment, great thing to put on your resume or tombstone, whichever comes first. 44 Blues, this is one we like to play with them. His partner Tony said this was her favorite song, her favorite Howlin' Wolf song. Mainly a piano thing, there's a lot going on. 44 Blues is really, when we learned these Howlin' Wolf songs, when we really went back and, studied the originals and tried to get them as, accurate as possible. Everybody covers a lot of these songs, but they don't necessarily play them right. But we went back and really listened to them, and there was so much strange stuff going on, like odd things that you would never, just like notes that shouldn't work. Joe Murphy was especially adept at picking out these strange parts in Howlin' Wolf songs. Had a lot of interweaving figures, things that made it work, but some of them were just really odd, I want my 44 so long, it made my shoulder sore. I want my 44 so long, it made my shoulder sore. Oh, I just found out my trouble blues, Howlin' Wolf. Hubert Sumlin was another guy that was born in Mississippi and went to Chicago, which is sometimes called the Great Migration. But he was much younger than Howlin' Wolf and all these other blues guys, you know. He was really young when he started, like teenage kid. And you know, there's a film, you know, this documentary or TV series, this thing where a bunch of I think it's called American Folk Blues Series, something like that. A bunch of you know, Chicago blues guys toured Europe, and one of the places they played there, somewhere in Scandinavia, I think. They filmed it for like a TV show. Really very, very well done, black and white film, but great sound. And anyway, there's scenes, you know, Hubert Sumlin, he's so young, he's like a kid. He's playing with Sonny Boy Williamson. And Sonny Boy like introduces the band, and he pats Hubert on the head, really like he's a little kid, calls him Little Hubert. Anyway, here's that song from the American Folk Blues thing. Sonny Boy Williamson playing with a very young Hubert Sumlin, playing this song that was probably written by Willie Dixon. Look at it, honey, ooh, you look at that, honey, mercy me. Look at that, honey, ooh, way over yonder by the peach tree. Look at that, honey, ooh, look at that, honey, mercy me. Look at that, honey, ooh, way over yonder by the peach tree. I love your peaches, they so mellow fine. I'm so crazy about your orchard, and it make me big, my baby, all the time. Look at that, honey, ooh, look at that, honey, mercy me. Look at that, honey, ooh, way over yonder by the peach tree. I love your peaches, oh, they so mellow and fine. I'm so crazy about your orchard, and it make me big, my baby, all the time. Look at that, honey, ooh, look at that, honey, mercy me. Look at that, honey, ooh, way over yonder by the peach tree. Sonny Boy Williamson with Hubert Sumlin. Hubert Sumlin played with just his fingers. He didn't use a pick. There's a story. Howlin' Wolf told him he had to take a break. He couldn't play with him until he figured out how to play his music. So Hubert Sumlin was upset. He said he prayed and he cried. He went to bed with his guitar, put it under his pillow, and he woke up and in a dream he was told to throw away his picks. So then he started playing with just his fingers. And he said the first thing he did was the lick for Smokestack Lightning. It was sent to him in a dream, and he was told to play with his fingers. So that's when his style became very unique. He also was instructed by Howlin' Wolf to go to the Chicago Conservatory of Music and learn learn scales and the piano keyboard, which he did, which is a rare thing for a blues guy. He spent 6 months in the Chicago Conservatory of Music as an already established blues man, you know. So anyway, when we had this great opportunity to play with Hubert Sumlin, you know, Joe Murphy, our guitar player, he did the same thing. He threw away his picks for the occasion, and he really learned these Howlin' Wolf songs really well, very well. I think Hubert Sumlin was very impressed. Yeah, I know he was. He really enjoyed playing with us, which was a great honor. But anyway, as much as I'm, proud of doing it, I'm mainly happy that Joe Murphy got a chance to play with Howlin' Wolf. Hubert Sumlin. The connection to Howlin' Wolf. Many people consider Hubert Sumlin to be like the bridge between blues guitar playing and rock guitar solos. His solo, particularly on this one song, "Hidden Charms," which we really did learn really well for these shows. Anyway, that solo in particular is like a template for rock guitar solo. Is very ahead of its time as it was in the late. It was before rock and roll, or at the very, very beginning of rock and roll. And since Hubert was younger than these guys, he played like a rock guitar soloist, you know. He really started the whole thing. Hubert was cited by Jimi Hendrix, Eric Clapton, Keith Richards, you know, all those guys. They knew Hubert was the guitar player. They were someone who they emulated, copied his licks. So the first time when we had this gig at in Asbury Park, Langosta Lounge, we were doing the sound check for our big thing, and Hubert came for the sound check. He rolled in this big red amp, like a custom amp someone made for him, and we got him set up, and we played Smokestack Lightning, and to hear him play those licks, I've listened to them thousands of times, so they're like welded to my brain. I listened to those albums over and over. So to hear Hubert Sumlin playing the real thing with us, that was quite a moment for me. Very, very, I was very happy, really happy. I think my friend Mike Carr was the bartender. He witnessed that, our sound check. Sound check might have been the high point for me, although we did have a great gig. It went really well. It was a great night. The whole local blues community came, and a really very good audience, and it was just a pretty magical experience. Great night. Neil Thomas was our keyboard player. We did a set by ourselves first, so he played accordion. We played some reggae songs and things that would be different from the rest of the night. And then we brought up our, special guest, our big hero, Hubert Sumlin. It was great, really great night. It was really great to sit next to him and play. Once in a while, he'd go like that to me, in a good way. Yeah, it was great. Okay, here's a song we did that night. And then we also did a couple more shows in New York City and what's that place? Yeah, famous jazz place. Just can't remember. Whatever. Anyway, This one's called Who's Been Talking? Minor key blues song. Also, I mean, if you listen to the originals, there's all such crazy notes going on that should not work. Somehow it does. This one is fun to play with Richie Blackwell. It's like a Latin percussion thing. My baby caught a train, so go far from home. My baby caught a train, so go far from home. She knows that I love her, she's doing me wrong. My baby bought a ticket, long as my ride on. Big old ticket, as long as my ride on. She says she gonna ride, as long as I've been home. Bye-bye, baby, I hate to see you go. Goodbye, baby, I hate to see you go. You know I love you, I'm the causing of it all. I'm the causing of it all. The causing of it all. The causing of it all. I'm the causing of it all. Talking, minor key blues song, Alan Wolf. When we play that one with the band, we play it for a long time, stretch out the ending. Sometimes it turns into a Space Jam kind of thing, Grateful Dead, avant-garde. We let it all fall apart and then come back with a big crescendo. But there was a great documentary with Hubert Sumlin about three old blues guys in their 90s, Hunt Out Perkins, Hubert Sumlin, and the drummer, Willie Big Eyes Smith. Yeah, that was a great documentary of those three guys, all in their 90s. and it kind of, and they, some of them were winning Grammys and really getting the attention that they deserved. But then, and then they all died. But I guess that was the last time I saw Hubert Sumlin. We went to B.B. King's in New York City to go, it was supposed to be a Pine Top Perkins gig, but he passed away, so it turned into Pine Top Perkins memorial thing, and so that was nice. That was the last time I saw Hubert play. I think I was supposed to go see him one more time up around where he lived, Totowa, that blues place. I forget. Mexicali Blues. But he wasn't feeling well, and he canceled. And then I suppose he passed away a couple weeks later at the age of 80. He lived in his final years. He lived in Totowa, New Jersey, with his partner Tony. And, he always wore a suit and tie every day and walk into town and get coffee or newspaper, and people would call him the mayor of Totowa. Once, one night, we were playing. This was up at Levon Helm's place, that barn, in Woodstock. It was New Year's Eve, and it was Hubert Sumlin opening up for Levon Helm. That was the show. So Sim and I, we went up together. We left from the hotel. We were going over to a sound check thing, over in the afternoon, and I found myself sitting at a kitchen table like this with Hubert, Sim, and Levon Helm. Anyway, on the way ride over, we were talking about two things. I was talking about how my resolution was to drink more water, and then and I don't know how the subject came up, but we were talking about how I didn't like saxophones. I don't have trouble with saxophone players, but how I considered a saxophone and a harmonica to be like natural enemies. They just don't go very well together in blues songs, especially. So I was explaining how I consider the sax the enemy of the harmonica. And anyway, we were sitting around talking about. First, he brought up the subject of water. We were drinking a pitcher of water together, and Levon told this story how the water came from a well right where we were sitting, and how he discovered the water, and it was really especially clean, sweet, very good, clean, the best water I ever drank. So anyway, he was telling me how he had the keyboard player for the band, he was also a douser. He had the skill of dousing. Garth Brooks, not Garth Hudson. Yeah, so Garth Hudson was going around with a stick, and it went straight down over the spot, and he told them to drill right here. There's water, and they went down. They kept, they ran out of drills, and he said, "No, keep drilling. There's water down there." And then they went further, like 150 feet, 250 feet, and then they struck this well of very, very pure water. So, and then we went on, we were just, after talking about the water, which was enough of a coincidence, it started with, Levon said to Hubert, he said, we've been talking about recording for years and years. I have the barn here, I got the studio, now's the time. And instead of saying, yeah, good idea, Hubert Sumlin said, he goes, I believe I already passed away once. I said, what do you mean? He goes, when I had my operation, when I had my heart operation, I had, he flatlined briefly, and he had an out-of-body experience. And he said he experienced heaven. And he said, he goes, but heaven wasn't what they say. It wasn't all clouds or even sights at all. It was all sounds. It was like the most beautiful music you could ever imagine, like nothing on earth. And everyone was playing their part, playing together. And he said, then he said to me, he goes, but you wouldn't play, you don't play the instrument that you play on earth. He said, you wouldn't play the harmonica. He goes, you would play the saxophone. I said, man, I probably would. You're probably right, Hubert. You can't argue with Hubert Sumlin. He was really a saintly person. Besides being a real gentleman, he had like an aura, a saintly glow. Bonnie Raitt said she considered him a god. But he was definitely a man of God in his own way. Yeah, it was a great experience, great, honor to play with Hubert Sumlin, get to know him. Alrighty. Yeah, then I went to his funeral. It was up in Totowa. And it was pretty well-attended funeral, but it's funny, his funeral was paid for by Mick Jagger and Keith Richards. And then when the New York Times wrote an article about it, Tony, Hubert's partner, she said she described how they paid the funeral expenses, and then she said, "God bless the Rolling Stones," which was I think my favorite quote in the New York Times ever. Good for her. She got "God bless the Rolling Stones" in the New York Times. So then after the funeral, there was a memorial concert at the Apollo Theater in Harlem, which the musical director was Steve Jordan, Keith Richards' drummer. So he put a house band together, him, I think Willie Weeks on the bass. Anyway, a great house band, but then their guests were, really the who's who of the blues and rock world. Easily the best blues concert I've ever seen. Great, amazing. It started out, the first act was, one song was Eric Clapton and James Cotton. They came out unannounced, sat down and played an acoustic song together, or two, and then the show went off from there, and it really got better from there. Amazingly good concert, like the best blues concert you could ever imagine. Besides Eric Clapton, James Cotton, there was Derek Trucks and Susan Tedeschi, Elvis Costello, Kim Wilson, Gary Clark Jr., Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top. Wow, I had a dream about ZZ Top last night. Anyway, Keith Richards, of course, was the main event. Steve Jordan did a great job, getting the whole thing together and running really well. There were some really standout parts, Gary Clark Jr. was especially good. Kim Wilson played harmonica all night. He was very good. Everything was good. I'm not a big Elvis Costello fan, so that's why I went outside to smoke a joint during that part. And first I was thinking this would be a bad time to get busted because these were very expensive tickets. I wouldn't want to miss the rest of the show, but I did anyway. So I was standing out in front of the Apollo smoking a big fat joint when a Lincoln Town Car pulled up, and two girls jumped out, and I saw that they were Keith Richards' daughters, and they looked at me and cracked up because they smelled the weed, and then I guess they recognized me when I went back inside, and anyway, Michelle, my daughter, and I went, and we hung out with the Richards family, kind of. I was a little scared of them. one of them made a real tough face, like a Keith Richards looking face. All right. I'm not going to say anything. But that was a great night. Michelle and I had a great time. That concert, that day was like a real turning point for me. Everything got better after that. And I hope everything continues to get better. Okay, thank you very much for listening every week. This is, I'm signing off. This is my last live stream thing. It served its purpose, but I guess it's kind of over now, Start playing Saturday afternoons outside at the Whitechapel Projects in Long Branch starting next week. And then I guess we'll be back on the boardwalk Monday nights starting June 14th and see where else we can go. Start over, get back into playing, find out some new places to play, or just see how it goes. Take it from here. Different drummer and another summer, a different summer. I hope everything goes well. I'm sure it'll be a big celebration to finally get back to playing, especially on the boardwalk. Yeah, again, thanks for listening every week. Thanks for, sorry if I didn't write anything back on comments. I don't read Facebook stuff that much. I try to avoid it. But for this, it's been great. For this live stream thing, it really has been great. It gave me something to look forward to every week, and it was a good musical thing. I definitely got out of practice not being able to play. Not playing live. That's how I don't really practice. I just play live. So to have this thing, gave me some reason to practice things, or maybe learn new songs if it was like a topic, Sometimes the topics would be about fire or rain or water, things like that. So maybe I would learn a new song for that. And then a lot of times the act of either learning a new song or thinking about the topic, I would come up with new songs. So I think I probably wrote maybe a dozen songs over the year. Probably, and a lot of them inspired by having this live stream thing to look forward to. So I'm grateful for that too. So thanks for listening, everybody, and I'll see you in the real world. Hubert Sumlin's story. Two things that Sim told me that were probably nobody knows about Hubert is that he recorded a secret album behind the Iron Curtain during the height of the Cold War, a big spy operation where he had to be smuggled across the border late at night, and then that he fathered a child in India. So maybe there's somebody in India that's got some sitar skills. Okay, thanks for listening. Bye-bye.